I never thought a Sunday afternoon could feel like the end of the world, but that was before I walked into our backyard and found her there. My wife, laughing, drenched in the hot tub, wrapped around someone who was never supposed to be a part of our marriage. Her hair clung to her face, droplets of water glinting like tiny betrayals under the sun. And it wasn't just anyone. It was Mark, her best friend's husband. My best friend's husband. Froze. My keys slipped from my hand, clattering to the tile, but I couldn't move. The sight burned into my retinas, the way she leaned into him, her hand resting too comfortably on his shoulder. My chest tightened, each heartbeat hammering against my ribs like a warning I couldn't ignore. I should have turned away, should have walked back inside, called a therapist, or screamed until someone answered. But something darker, colder, and stranger took over. I stepped forward and quietly closed the gate behind me, the click echoing in the otherwise oblivious backyard. Then I reached for my phone. "Hello, Mark," I said, my voice calm in a way that frightened me. "It's Tony. We need to talk." They didn't hear me over their laughter and splashing. I stayed on the line, listening as the seconds stretched and stretched. Part of me wanted to scream, part of me wanted to disappear, part of me wanted to understand why. Why she, why him, why now? When I finally heard her name through the phone, calling softly, worried, I realized she had no idea I'd seen anything. And that realization, that split second of her ignorance, was almost worse than the betrayal itself. Almost. I hung up without a word and leaned against the fence, my forehead pressed against the cool metal. I remembered the first time we met. Her laugh echoing through the college library. Her smile like sunlight spilling across the dusty bookshelves. I remembered our wedding, the small chapel, the way her hand felt in mine when we promised forever. I remembered every argument, every apology, every quiet night when we fell asleep in each other's arms. And now this. I didn't storm forward. I didn't yell. I didn't throw anything. I just watched. And in that watching, the world slowed, and every small detail screamed at me. The way she tilted her head at him, the way her lips curved slightly, the way she didn't even glance toward the gate where I stood. It was surreal, like a nightmare written in bright daylight. I went inside quietly, trying to ignore the tremor in my hands. I poured myself a glass of whiskey, but I didn't drink. The glass just sat there, sweating in my palm, and I stared at it as if it held the answers. My phone buzzed again. It was a message from Mark. "Hey man, want to grab a beer later?" I laughed bitterly, the sound hollow. Beer. Later. As if the world hadn't just shattered in front of us. I didn't reply. I couldn't even process it all. Instead, I called my sister, the only person I trusted with my life. "I need your help," I said, my voice barely above a whisper. "Tony. What's wrong?" Her voice was immediate, sharp with concern. It's Lisa. Caught her. In the hot tub. With Mark." There was a long pause. "Oh, Tony." Her voice cracked, and I felt a strange relief. Someone else knew. Someone else could share the weight of this. "I don't know what to do," I admitted, the words tasting bitter. I can't look at her the same way anymore. Feel sick. I feel like everything we had was a lie. Come over. Don't touch anything. Don't let her know, Sam said. Just come over. We'll figure this out. I didn't argue. I didn't resist. I just left. I couldn't stop thinking about their faces as I drove. Her face. My wife, shocked, carefree, the way she used to look at me during lazy Sunday mornings. And Mark. Grinning as if the world belonged to him, as if he'd just scored the biggest prize in life. Me. I was nowhere. Invisible. By the time I reached my sister's house, my mind was racing. Should I confront her? Should I demand an explanation? Should I beg her to stay, or just walk away quietly and never look back? Sam didn't ask questions. She just opened the door and let me inside where it was quiet and safe. "I don't even know who she is anymore," I said, collapsing on the couch, my hands covering my face. "She's still the woman you married, Tony," Sam said softly, sitting beside me. "But the one you loved, she's buried under choices she made. That's not your fault." Her words were like a lifeline, but they barely held me. I thought about walking back home, about seeing her face, about asking her why she'd done this. But the thought of those warm, familiar arms around someone else made my stomach twist. Hours passed. I stayed on the couch, silent, listening to the quiet hum of Sam's house. And then my phone buzzed again. Another message from Lisa. "Tony, where are you? I tried calling you." I stared at it, my thumb hovering over the screen. I wanted to reply. I wanted to scream, to beg, to tell her to leave my life forever. But I couldn't. Not yet. Instead, I deleted it. I went home the next morning. The gate was still locked, the hot tub drained, and the backyard smelled faintly of chlorine and betrayal. She was there, waiting, with her wet hair tied back and a towel wrapped around her shoulders. Her face brightened when she saw me. "Tony, I thought you were gone all day," she said. I didn't say a word. I just looked at her. Every laugh, every whispered "I love you," every shared secret seemed to hover in the air like ghosts mocking me. "What's wrong?" she asked, concerned. I shook my head. "You already know," I said, my voice steady but cold. She blinked. "What do you mean?" "You know exactly what I mean," I said. "I saw you. With him. In the hot tub. The gate, everything. I saw everything." Her face drained of color. "Tony. Don't start. Don't try to explain." I stepped back, breathing heavily. "I need time. I need to think. And you need to leave." Her mouth opened, then closed. She nodded silently, wrapping herself in the towel tighter as if it could shield her from the storm she'd created. I watched her go, each step heavy, deliberate, and final. And as the door clicked behind her, a part of me felt relief, while another part felt like it had been ripped out entirely. I sat on the edge of the empty hot tub, the water gone, the heat gone, the laughter gone. And I realized that the person I loved most in the world had made a choice that no amount of pleading or logic could undo. She had chosen betrayal over us, over the life we'd built. I had to choose myself now. The days that followed were quiet, unbearably quiet. I stayed in the house, moving through rooms that were suddenly foreign. I thought about leaving, about starting over, about rebuilding. But the memory of her face, smiling at someone else, would not let me go. Eventually I sold the house. I moved to a small apartment downtown, took up jogging in the mornings, and started therapy. Slowly, painfully, I began to understand that love wasn't always enough, that trust once broken could never fully be mended, and that sometimes survival meant walking away. Months later, I ran into her at a grocery store. She looked different, tired, guilty, and small in a way that made my chest ache with both anger and pity. She tried to speak, but I shook my head. I didn't need her words. I didn't want them. I walked away, feeling the sunlight on my face, feeling free in a way I hadn't in years. The pain didn't vanish. It never would completely. But I had chosen life over betrayal, truth over illusion, and myself over someone who had proven they could not love me as I deserved. And for the first time in a long time I felt like I could breathe again.